Good morning, Coolest Coast. It's time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. This is Kristin Odell. I'm Tina Prigge. Good morning.
Hi, you're so angelic today. Tell us about your headpiece.
This is my Halloween costume. I have a little white dress that goes with it and some little golden wings, but tomorrow is Halloween. So I thought, let's be in the spirit.
Actually, Friday is Halloween. You were close.
Oh my gosh, today is not Thursday. Well, take this off. No.
You were close. Close enough. Good job.
I feel like when I was a little kid, I would wear my Halloween costume for days leading up to the event. I was always so excited about it.
I love that. We had an event at school last week, so they wore their costumes. And then Friday night, we had trunk or treat out at Hope Church, which was a blast, and they wore them then, and then they're going to wear them again for Halloween. So, yeah, it's nice to get some use out of them.
Did you wear a costume? Do you have a costume for this year?
I was Morticia Adams on Friday night with my very handsome husband, Gomez.
Cool.
So yeah, we had so much fun dressing up, and there were so many kids. So they counted the number of kids that came through, not adults. There were 415 kids that came through the trunk or treat. It was
Wow. Is that what was expected? Like, did you have enough trunk treats?
We did. That's pretty, I will say average. Like that's kind of normal. That's a normal year, but it just always amazes me how many people, just like there's a huge line in the beginning to get in, and it's so much fun, and the trunks are incredible. And the winning trunk did. I knew I was. For some reason, it keeps. What is the movie where there's the emotions and
Inside Out?
yes, Inside Out. They did Inside Out, and they had these like core memory thing on the back, and they were rolling little super balls and little balls across the table to the kids like they do in the movie. It was so cute. And then second place was Candyland and Wizard of Oz, and they were both so awesome. So it's
So it's not just opening your trunk and that's where you serve the treats from. The trunks themselves are thematically decorated. So it's
they are awesome, and possibly a bit over the top, but just like if you just want to see really cool trunks and like have an experience. One of the girls' favorite ones, this was more of a trunk one, but it was a huge shark mouth, and the girls had to put their hand in the shark to get the candy treat, and they thought it was so fun.
fun. So if you were Morticia and Doug was Gomez, does that mean yours was an Adams Family theme?
We did an Adams Family theme, and since we were at church, our kind of tagline was Jesus is our thing. So it was so much fun. My mom dressed up as grandmama and handed out the candy, and Grace and her boyfriend did Wednesday in Pugsley. And, again, just so much fun.
Okay, let's back up. Let's unpack that for a second. This is the first time I'm hearing the statement Grace and her boyfriend.
Maybe.
How you doing, Mom?
We're doing great.
Okay.
We're doing great. This is not a new thing, and we love having him come along for the fun.
Okay.
So it was a blast.
Okay, cool. So you feel like they're good together?
Yeah, I do feel like they're good together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're enjoying all of the fall things, right? Carving pumpkins, doing trunk or treat, watching Packer games. Like these are all good things.
You know what? Tell me more about carving pumpkins.
Right? Aren't they so good?
Yeah.
So Sunday, my mom and my sister came out, and our family was here, and we had some friends, and we carved pumpkins. And Doug ordered these cool like tool kits on Amazon that have like, if you've ever watched Halloween Wars on the Food Network, they have other tools in them, so you can kind of do more things. They look like scrapers and chiselers and just all these different things. And so, yeah, look at how cool they turned out. So Nora did the bat, which I think she did an awesome job with.
Yeah.
Josie, my middle, kind of did the one that's all the way over that has the little horns, but it's kind of like see-through. It's like a mask almost. Josie did that one. Cam and Grace did the ones with the tongue sticking out in the eyes, which I think are so cute. And then my mom did the one where it's like circles, but then the mouth is like covered. It's like I said, it either looks like a gas mask or like there's the thing opened its mouth and there were like cobwebs in it.
Yeah, super creepy. So wait, how do you accomplish that when you're carving a pumpkin?
Yeah, so there's like these tools where you can like scrape the pumpkin away but not cut through it. And so my mom was like scraping through and I was like, ooh, that's cool. And she's like, I think I'm going to leave it like that.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that's
fun?
a super creepy effect.
Yes.
And
And then
so then Josie did the same thing on the little guy with the horns?
yes, yeah. So she like cut out the outside and then like scraped it out, but not all the way through so that you get that kind of glowing weird effect.
Oh, I've never seen that before. And how did the other two accomplish the tongues?
Same thing. So they cut out the mouth and then they cut down the piece and then use toothpicks to like apply the tongue. So like the tongue was sticking out.
So it's kind of a separate piece that they put back in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I couldn't get my mind around it otherwise.
When I get done today, I will see if I can find the kit that Doug ordered on Amazon. But they're super cool, like little tools, and they come in a little pack, so we washed them up, and we'll be able to use them again another time. But pretty fun.
What about what's illuminating them? They look so nice and brightly lit.
Just a regular old tea light,
Oh,
nothing fancy.
you didn't have to get like an extra wattage or an extra bright or
No,
anything?
they're like a legit little tea light candle. That's it.
Oh, it's a real candle.
It's a real candle.
Gotcha. You know what? For some
That's what it
reason,
is.
I was thinking it was like an LED or something.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope. It's just a real candle.
nice. Do
Yeah.
you then at some point turn your pumpkins into pies?
Not those. The flies, the horse flies have been on them. The flies are gross this year. Can we say that?
Yes, one just flew by just now, as a matter of
I,
fact.
I feel like, so I visit in my work. I'm on site with clients a lot of the time where I go from place to place to place throughout the day. And I feel like everywhere I go, they have like naggy flies in their office or there's dead flies on the floor or just like they're so pesty. And yesterday I walked out our front door and one of the pumpkins was like covered in horse flies, like big, nasty, creepy looking. I'm like, why are you even here, flies? Go away.
Why is this their year? Why do you think they're so
That's a good question. I don't
there's
know.
a multitude of them?
Well, it was
Multitudinous?
warmer. It was warmer a little bit later, but like we had some pretty cool temps over the weekend. Like Sunday morning, I think we got up for church and things were frosted. So I'm like, why are you still here?
Yeah. So I noticed this picture that you sent has like a
Yeah.
frosty look on the grass, which is so
Yes.
beautiful, but it also definitely heralds the fact that we have switched seasons.
Yes. This was Saturday morning. We were getting ready to leave for soccer early. Yeah, and isn't this the most I mean, you can't ever capture what you see with your eyes.
Right.
So
Right.
just know it was way more incredible than this.
It's just
But
so lovely and peaceful.
oh my gosh, yeah, and it's so quiet. But yeah, you can definitely see the grass is frosted over.
What do you think the temperature was at that point?
I would say like 39 or 40.
And
Yeah,
still the flies persist.
it's still the flies persist. I'm gonna try to trick my camera here.
You know, that is the one, like one of the biggest selling points of living where we do in Wisconsin, right? Is that, okay, we're going to get these cold winters, but it minimizes all the insects, right? It keeps our spiders relatively small. Like, okay, total worth the trade-off.
Yeah,
But it's,
eventually things kind of die off outside and we get some relief from them, right?
mm. So I asked if you were going to make a pumpkin pie. You were kind enough and you dropped off some apples at my house, and I did make a pie. And I just wanted to share a photo because it turned out so good. Those Cortlands made a great pie.
Oh my gosh. Okay, tell us. Like I got to see the before and after pictures of this, but tell us what's on the top because it looks like mm, both crunchy and molten-y.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. So this is my mom's pie recipe, which I think was, her mom's, possibly even her grandma's before that. And so it doesn't have the lattice pie crust. It doesn't have pie crust at all. It is flour, it is sugar, and it is like cubed little pieces of butter, all
Mm,
mixed up and then sprinkled over.
I bet it was like mouth-watering delicious.
It was so good. It was so good. And it was one of those where I'm like, I'm eating it for breakfast because it's apples. It's got to be good for you.
That's right. Did you make this pie yourself?
Well, I had help. Jason peeled and cut the apples for me.
Nice. But I mean, I don't like, I want to cheers you. I want to congratulate. Like, that is a little masterpiece right there. Like, you're doing it.
Thank you. Thank you. And, part of it is just thinking about it and doing it differently, right? If I assume it's going to look like how it used to look when I'd make pie, I'll be disappointed. But so what I do now is I take everything to the kitchen table where it's at a good height for me and I can manage it.
Yeah. And it doesn't really matter what it looks like because it just has to taste good.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's so cool. My mom made a new, like, it was almost like a cinnamon roll apple bar on Sunday for the Packer game with Cortland apples in it. And it was kind of like a cinnamon cake on the bottom, and then there were layered apples in there, and then more cake, and then like a glaze on the top, but also very good.
That sounds awesome.
So good.
In this season, apples almost any way are so good, especially with a little cinnamon.
Actually, you know what she made on Monday? I was over at her house working on Monday. She made baked apples in the microwave. So this is not anything that I have ever thought of, but she cored out an apple and then she put, I would say, a generous amount of butter. I'm thinking about 2 tablespoons per apple. Now, keep in mind, these apples are pretty big, but apples, butter in the middle, cinnamon and sugar all over the top and in the middle, and then just a touch of water in the bottom. And then she just microwaved them until they were like knife tender. And then we ate them with like pork tenderloin for lunch. They were insane. It was like eating baked apples or apple
Wow.
pie. Or have you ever had the apples from like Cracker Barrel?
No, I mean, I've had apples prepared the way you're describing, but baked in an oven. I never thought about microwaving them.
Oh my gosh. It's like 10 minutes to heaven in the microwave. They were very good.
I'm a huge fan of a fruit or like a warm fruit with your meal, right? So you've got the savory foods and then you've got this little bit of fruit. Like at Thanksgiving, I love the cranberries with my food. I love like an apple with my pork.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's for at least our family. It's very traditional to have applesauce with pork. It's just a thing.
Yeah,
Um, so,
yeah.
so I don't
Okay.
know. Good stuff.
Hey, tell me about what you're reading too. It sounds like this is good stuff.
All right, friends. So Dan Brown has a new book out. This was just released. I think it was released in September. I was finishing a book, so I just got to it. And I'm like a third of the way into this book, and I'm totally hooked. Like I've got my Kindle in the car, and anytime I can squeeze in. Last night I was waiting for dinner to finish in the oven, and I'm like reading at the counter. And so if you've read Dan Brown before, you know that once the story gets rolling, it's typically like a lot of action, and the things you think of are not the things that happen, and the people who you think are good are bad. And so far, it's not a disappointment at all.
Can you give us a little smidge of what the story is, where it's set, what's happening?
Yep, it's in set in Prague. There's always an element of Dan Brown's books that include like himself. In my mind, I always picture Tom Hanks as Robert Langdon. That's just how I read it now because he's been Robert Langdon in 2 of the movies. But so he's a symbologist and a theologist, and so it's him with another author. They're in Prague, and it kind of starts with a speaking engagement and some questionable research, and then it just kind of takes off from there. Um, One of the like good bad guys, but is he a bad guy? But I think he's a good guy. Is like uh, he's called a golem in there. So
Ooh.
basically, something that magically or mystically gets brought to life from clay. And so it's a little bit different than maybe some of Dan Brown's other books, but like I said, there's a lot of action, and I'm hooked.
Wow. I mean, and great description too. I already want to put this on my reading list.
You should. It's
I
really
got,
good.
I got to warn you though, whatever you do, don't ask Jason what happens in the book. And the reason I say that is I was just reading Endurance, and that is like the true recollection of Shackleton's Antarctic expedition,
Mm.
which I didn't know the history of. I've heard of Shackleton, but that's it. So I'm reading it, and it's really good, especially adventure wise. I mean, the ship gets like trapped in ice at the Antarctic. They can't move. They have to decide whether to abandon ship and go across the ice floes. I mean, it is like that era, just like epic adventure. And I'm just like so impressed with the gumption and the grit and how these guys team together and are working it out. And then Jason sees me read it. And he goes, "Oh, you know they all die in the end. Why are you reading this?" I was like, "What? Why would you tell me that?" You know? And then he goes, "Yeah, like it leads to cannibalism and the blah blah." I'm like, "What?" So now I'm carrying on reading this book because I'm, impressed with it enough to keep going. But now I've got like this pit of sorrow, like, oh no, who's gonna turn on who? What's gonna
But
be the
who's gonna be the evil one in this book?
who's gonna start that? Because I mean they are like such a tight team. Like even the laziest scoundrel guy that seems to be on the team still is part of the team, right? I'm like, is that who's going to get eaten first, right? So it totally shifts the complexity of like my understanding of this book. Well, I get to the end, Kristen, not a single person dies. And
What?
there is no cannibalism in the book. It is as wholesome as you would expect.
So, was he bluffing? Was he
He
throwing you
he's
off?
like, "Oh my god, I think I was thinking about a different story." I'm like,
So, I was gonna say, I read a book about a plane that goes down in the Alps.
I think that's what he was thinking about. It's like a
Can't
soccer
remember
team.
what it was, but in that book, they don't all die, but a number of them do die just from hypothermia and like cold and starvation, and they end up cannibalizing some of their travel partners in order to survive.
And I think it's travel partners, though, that have already perished.
That's correct. They
Yeah.
die first. They're in freezing cold snow and that's like their last resort to survive.
Ah, Mary, that's it. Alive. Yep. Yep.
Yes. Because like in Alive, like one of the guys survives a plane crash by like holding on to the door frame of the plane, as it's going down, right? Like things you can't imagine. But so Endurance is based on a true story,
Yes.
real nonfiction, right?
Yep.
I was going to say if they all died at the end, I don't think the title could be Endurance.
Well, right. Endurance was actually the name of the ship that they sailed.
Okay.
Um, and I was thinking too, like, okay, if they all die, yeah, how are we hearing this story? But they were meticulous at keeping journals. And I thought,
Mm.
did they piece this all together from the journals that were recovered somehow?
I love that he just entirely threw you off, not even knowing it.
No.
It was like an unintentional bluff.
Yeah, he didn't do it purposefully, but it totally shifted. Like I kept thinking, is this the moment? And it ends up there's this heroic rescue, and it's what,
Tell me how you broached that subject with Jason once you realize that they're not dying and cannibalizing.
Have you seen how fast I can roll my wheelchair? I just beelined it. I'm like, nobody died. There was no cannibalism. And now every day I say that to him. Like I'll wake up in the morning, I'll be like, guess what? Nobody died.
Yeah. Um, Excuse me. Hello. Everybody lived.
Let's see, what did Mary say? She said, in The Shining, they mentioned a group of settlers that got stranded and resorted to cannibalism to survive. Oh, isn't that the Donner? The Donner Party?
I don't know. I don't watch things like The Shining because I can't handle it.
No, but back in the day, there's a true story about settlers, and I think, viewers, help me out here. I think it's the Donner Party that had to resort to cannibalism to survive. And so now it's a joke sometimes when people are making reservations, they'll say the Donner Party, and then so it's like Donner Party of six,
As long as it's not the Dahmer party.
dark humor. Mary said yes, Donner Party. Okay.
It is Halloween.
We didn't know we'd devolve into this, but happy Halloween, everyone. So
And
I'm
we
kind of
really didn't
excited.
plan this.
I'm excited because I think this is the first year that we might have trick-or-treaters now that we live in the house that we live in. So we're excited.
You are in a great spot for trick-or-treaters, I feel like. You've got kiddos in your neighborhood, right?
There are. Yep.
That is so fun. I'm so excited for you. I think we're gonna head over, but we kind of have a tradition to head over to my mom's, and um, we like to hit up like Lindbergh Drive is where we like to walk. It's a little couple blocks away, but it is just the best. It
Thanks,
is the
Mary.
best trick or treating, and a lot of people like sit out on their porch or are dressed up or have their lawns decorated. And I love that it's a Friday night this year. I just think it's going to be so fun.
Yeah, I think so too. I love that it's on Halloween too. I think that's more impactful. So are there
Yes.
great decorations usually then when you're trick-or-treating in
Yeah.
that
I mean, I
neighborhood?
think I mean, I feel like people do Halloween so differently now. Like there's a house on Waldo Boulevard between like 21st and I don't know what would be the next cross street, like heading west, that has skeletons and all these funny things on, and they keep changing it, so it's like different every week, and that I'm just impressed by the amount of effort, right?
Yeah, right, right. It really has become a thing people go all out for.
Yeah. So, well, good. I hope you have a fabulous time. That's so much fun.
Thanks. Will you be dressed as Morticia again?
Actually, Friday the kids have trunk or treat at school, and so I'm dressing as Wednesday on Friday.
Wait, Mary said, I have kids pick a number, and if they get the one with a pumpkin and number 31, they get a bag full of goodies. Oh, like an extra bonus.
Mary, do you dress up? I mean, obviously, Mary is the queen of dress up. Will you be dressing up to hand out candy? Yeah, I'll be dressing
Yeah.
up this Wednesday on Friday because I feel like we need the main characters for Trunk or Treat. And my darling daughter Grace is going to be up at Lincoln going to school and doesn't get to do the trunk or treat at the other girls' school. So I think my mom and I are we're rolling back time. I'm going to go from Morticia. I'm going to be Wednesday, and my mom's going to go from being grandmama to being Morticia, um, just to make it good.
Yeah, how fun. Oh, I wish you had a picture. Maybe next week you can bring a picture to share with
I
us.
will send you pictures of both just so you get to check it out. But it'll
Okay.
be
Okay, awesome. Mary said, I will be wearing my mermaid siren costume.
woo,
Ooh, very cool, Mary.
so fun.
I'm a huge fan of mermaids.
I'm a huge fan of sirens.
I
Actually, in the show Wednesday, have you watched Wednesday at all on, I think
have
it's on
not.
Netflix? I really do recommend. It is very good. It's not super spooky, which is good, but fun. And there is sirens in that show.
So, how do they say it? You know, this is a word I often see in writing, but I don't often hear spoken. And sometimes when I hear people say it, I hear them say siren, I
Mm.
guess, which would audibly distinguish it from just a siren. But I always thought it was just a siren.
I don't remember. I want to say they say siren on in the show.
Okay.
I mean, it's like a Greek siren, right? Mm. I'll have to pay more attention.
Yeah. I mean, siren is how I would think to say it. But I just started recently changing it because I thought I heard people say siren. And I'm like, well, I guess that would distinguish it.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
but I never know.
I know.
Okay. Mary is saying that her mermaid costume, you can see it in her profile picture. I don't have a way to pull that up and show it to you while we're midstream.
But
But
you can go check it out,
you can
right?
go check it out. Yep.
Or actually, Mary's commenting. If you click on her name, you can check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very
Cool.
good.
All right, Kristen. So where was this? What's happening here?
This is just backyard fun. This is backyard fun. Are we? I don't know. Well, you don't have any trees. Um, are this particular tree now has dropped most of its leaves, but like we have some maples, red maples in the front, and they have not dropped any of their leaves yet. And so almost every day after school, the girls have been out playing and raking leaves. And yesterday they were um like practice like diving, like the diving warm up, but then jumping in the pile of leaves. And it's just really fun to watch them. Sometimes I think like they're in sixth and seventh grade and the imagination play at some point I know is going to go away, but it was just
Mm.
fun to watch them just be outside in fresh air and having a blast.
Yeah, right. And they're making this pile themselves, so they know there's nothing, there's, no concrete or rocks or anything in it, right? Like it's a safe pile to jump. Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, there might be dog poop in there, but
But that's on them for raking it up, right?
that's right. Not typically in that area, but yeah, they just, it's like, can we go outside? I'm like, yes, go outside. You can stay outside until it's dark. I don't care. Like, have a blast.
I feel like we were so fortunate this year. We're like days away from November and it's still this beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, I know it's definitely cooler, obviously, in the morning and during the day. I'm now sporting my flannels with a long sleeve shirt, but it's still sunny. I walked the dogs yesterday with a vest on. It was still comfortable, and the sun felt so good. And yeah,
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
take it while we can.
Hey, I saw something that tickled me. It was the way a Norwegian might respond if you say, like, hey, how are you? And one of the responses is up and not crying. And I love it. It's kind of like their version of, happy to be on this side of the dirt or something, right?
Yeah. So, have you used this with anyone?
I did. I pulled it out once and I think it just blew right by. They didn't really.
Mm?
I think partially because we say, "Hey, how are you?" without really even expecting a response, because it's such a rote thing, we don't hear what somebody says. So I really want to keep pulling this out to see, like, does somebody stop and actually listen? Like, wait, you're up
Okay.
and not crying?
This brings up a good point because I had the pleasure of teaching. I teach a coaching and mentoring class with UWGB, and I got to teach it twice last year in two of their different certification series. And we talk about listening, like really listening. And we talk about leadership and how often a leader will be like, "Oh, how you doing?" And they say fine or okay or whatever. And we're not even, like you said, they don't hear it, but you're not actually even intentionally listening to their response, and how important it is, not just in a leadership position, but all positions. Like if you're going to take the time to ask somebody, like make eye contact with them and be like, how you doing? And if they are like, okay, then be like, sounds like there's something else there.
Yeah. What could be improved? What's making it not excellent?
Yeah.
Why are you
And
up
if
and not crying, but not better than that?
that's correct, that's correct. I'm glad you're not crying, but like, is there anything I can do to make it better? Right.
So do you think you would ever try that as a response?
Up and not crying. I definitely should try to use it at the gym because, sometimes we're like, hey, good morning. How are you? And I'm not fully awake yet when I'm there. And I'm like, well, I'm here. That's as far as I made it. Is like I got up and I got dressed and I brushed my teeth and I made it to the gym. So sometimes like,
So
ask me again when I'm
you were talking about, like, a leader saying, how are you? And not necessarily listening. And I think that it's not only are they not necessarily listening, but even the person responding.
yeah.
It's just that rote response. I'm fine, not bad, whatever, right? Like it's weird that we have this interaction that isn't really feeling or like reality based, right? Hey, how are
Yes.
you? I'm fine, no problem. And then you go on, but like, did you anybody really listen or check in? Or like what if they did
Yeah.
say something different?
Or like, were we actually even present in that conversation? Or we were just, robotically carrying on. So
Yeah.
another tip I got last Friday, I was at yoga with Pete at Waves, and he challenged us. The mantra for the practice was "I am," and he said he really challenged us to think about like, what am I right now, and how can I value presence over productivity on this Friday. And that kind of smacks you a little bit. And I think this speaks directly into what you're saying is like, am I present right now? And so I try to really, especially throughout the weekend, just carry that with me. And, like on Sunday when we had somebody all around our kitchen table carving, and I was standing back from the table a little bit, just like looking at them. And I'm like, this just really makes my heart happy. You know, seeing
So you
these
were
people,
able to be in that moment, acknowledge what was going on, take it
yes,
in. Yeah.
right? No different than like I get to be here and I can give you 100% of my attention. I'm not thinking about what else I have to do, or, I'm capable of asking you follow up questions and just, again, sitting in like this 30 minutes, I just get to sit with Tina today.
Love that. You know what? Thank Pete for that guidance. That's valuable, right? To just check in with yourself. I am. Like,
Yeah.
are you in this moment? And what are you in this moment?
Yes. And so simple. Like I am, if I think that, I am instantly like, okay, how do I settle into right now?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's wonderful.
so I got to give kudos to him today.
So, did you have fun watching the Packer game? I know we're almost out of time, but how crazy was that?
Like I've said this to Doug and he's going to roll his eyes when he hears this, but like, I feel like the Green Bay Packers have been told you need to keep one foot on the brake in the first half of the game because otherwise people will stop watching if you just blow everybody out. Like the first half and the second half look nothing alike, right? And
Yeah.
if you are capable of doing that in the second half, you're certainly capable in the first half.
So I wonder, like, in the first half, is their goal to just wear the other team down so that they can fully press the pedal in the second half? And then I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know either, but I mean, it was a great game. It was fun to watch. I loved Roger's comments during the week about, how much Green Bay means to him. And he kind of gave a little shout out to Chives in Swamico as one of his favorite restaurants, which Doug and I love and adore. If you've never been there, it's a must stop. And so, I mean, I was kind of cool to hear those comments, but yeah, a good solid Packer win on a Sunday night is always nice.
What I love too were the fans. There were so many Packer fans at that Steelers stadium that when they started chanting "Go Pack Go," Aaron Rodgers had to revert to it, like forced him to do what they call that silent count. So instead of being able to be like hot, hot, 22, whatever, they had to like rely on gestures and timing in another way.
Yep.
And typically that only happens if you are the visiting team.
Right. Yeah, at times you could hear it on TV even when we were watching the game. But do we need to talk about the kickers?
Let's do that next time because what's going to happen?
I don't know. Doug and I were both like, oh, where's the other guy? Where is the other guy?
Haversick had just kicked the franchise record and then they don't come back with him.
I know. And then they missed two.
I know. And then you couldn't rely on them. You could tell the team was like, we're going to do whatever we can to avoid having to have a field goal kicked.
All right, this weekend, let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll talk more next time. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Happy Halloween. We can't wait to hear more about your costumes and your adventures next week as well. Thanks so much for joining us. Kristin Odell, I'm Tina Prigge. You've been watching Coffee with Kristin and Tina.
Bye, guys.